Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, can the Clippers take over the Western Conference? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also be on the lookout for our premium Dreamerspro Premium community, Dreamerspro Max, that's launching this week, and also be on the lookout for Dreamerspro.com that will be coming after that. Now, listen, let's talk about the Clippers for a second here, because I think they're one of the most interesting teams in the NBA. They have a lot riding on this season, given how they finished last season. I mean, it's a team I'm following this season. My favorite player plays on the team, so I say, hey, listen, let's talk about them, but. And let's see how they're doing. So anyway, listen, the Clippers have had an impressive year this season, given the fact how they ended last year, the ridicule that they took as a team and individuals with Kawhi and Paul George, and how they started off this season. They're having an impressive year. They start off the season getting two very important wins in the beginning of the season, kind of measuring sticks against the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. One of the things that people were kind of asking, the questions were, this team has the ability to get up on you, but can they stay up? Can they keep a lead on you? And they got some leads in those games, and they were able to hold on and win those games. Now, this season, a lot of times when they get a lead on teams, they rarely lose, right? So they've shown they can get leads and win games. They can even get leads, lose leads, get them back and win, like they did last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've done this multiple times, right? And to me, they're a better team this year, right? They're a better team for a number of reasons. Number one, they have better team chemistry. I think anyone with two eyeballs can see that, right? You don't need to have 20/20 visions for 20/20 vision for that. You can see that this is a better team as far as on the chemistry side. There's no issues. There's no drama. You see guys supporting each other, getting along with each other. There seems to be an open system of communication with this team. And I think all of this was fostered by Tyronn Lue understanding it, because he was one of the assistant coaches on that team last year. And he probably had a first row seat to see how this thing kind of really hurt the team not being together as a team. So they have much better chemistry, as you can see. And guys are getting along with each other. They have some good locker room guys. They were able to pick up some key players. Better players, in my opinion, that are more suited for this team. They picked up Serge Ibaka, who's an upgrade from Montrezl Harrell. Now, some people may say, but wait, are you taking a shot? No, listen. Montrezl Harrell is an 18-8 guy, right? He averaged 18+ points and 8 rebounds. However, he's an undersized big. He's a 6'7" power forward. And Serge can do way more things than Montrezl Harrell. As you can see, Serge Ibaka can stretch the floor. Number one, Serge Ibaka is taller, so he can guard bigger players. Serge Ibaka is a rim deterrent. He can block shots and affect shots. Even if he's not blocking your shot, he can affect it, right? By just having a presence there. He gives the team more athleticism in the rim. He can do everything that Montrezl Harrell could do, except he can't score at that level, at that rate. But he can pick and pop. He can pick and roll. And he can play great defense. Although he does kind of have, he always has a lot of moving screens. I don't know, for whatever reason. So they picked up Serge, who's been an upgrade, giving him more size in the interior. They have Nicholas Batum, who I don't need to say a lot about Nicholas Batum. Nicholas Batum, listen, he may be the unsung hero of the Clippers this season. Let me see if I can find out how many points this guy is averaging for the team. He's in double figures. He's averaging 10.2 points per game. He's shooting 50% from the field. 50% from the field, shooting 46% from the three-point line and shooting 85% from the free throw line. Serge Ibaka is also averaging 12.3. He's averaging 12.3 points per game. He's also shooting 52% from the field. And believe it or not, Serge Ibaka is also shooting above 40% from the three, right? Just think about that as their center. These are things that they could not dream of having last season, which they have. And they also pick up Luke Kennard, who's been kind of hit or miss, but I think he's been an upgrade overall from Landry Shamet. He's a more consistent three-point shooter. He's shooting a higher three-point percentage, and he seems to be a playmaker. Now, sometimes he does have some turnovers, but he's still doing well for the team. He's averaging 8.1 points off the bench, shooting 46% from the field and 44% from the three, which he was brought in to be a three-point sniper, and he's shooting 83% from the free throw line. So he's doing his thing. They got him. They have a better coach, and Tyronn Lue. I think that is plain as day to see that Tyronn Lue is a better coach for this team than Doc Rivers. I don't even need to spend much time on it, but if you just look at their offense, offensively, they're one of the top teams in the NBA in offense. If you look at them here, they're top 5 in field goal percentage in the NBA. They're number 1 in free throw percentage, shooting 85% from the free throw line. They're the number 1 3-point percentage shooting team in the NBA. Think about it, shooting 42% from the three. They're 2 percentage points clear of the Brooklyn Nets, who are at number 2, shooting 40.1% from the free throw line. They're also the top free throw 3-point shooting team as far as makes in the NBA. So they've been doing a really good job on the 3-point side. If we look at their defense, they're becoming one of the top rated defensive teams in the NBA, although they gave up a lot of points to the Brooklyn Nets, who have the number 1 offense in the NBA. So give the Brooklyn Nets some kudos. They're scoring 115 points per game, but they're holding opponents to 107. I'd like to see that number keep going down. But given the fact that they played a really nuclear team on the offensive side of the floor, there's no surprise that they were able to score that many points. But they held their opponent last night, I believe, to under 100 points. I think they held them to 98 points, 98 points in that game. If you look at their key players, their stars, they're having sensational seasons. They might be having the best years of their career if we're looking at it from a statistical and an efficiency standpoint. Kawhi Leonard has just been Kawhi Leonard, right? He's averaging 26 points per game, getting you 5.2 rebounds and 5.4 assists. The assist is a career high for him. He's never averaged above 5 assists per game, but he's shooting 51% from the field, 40% from the 3, and 90% from the free throw line. So Kawhi, and getting you, by the way, 2 steals a game. So Kawhi Leonard is having a 50-40-90 season. But if you look at his running mate in Paul George is averaging 24.5 points per game. He's shooting 50% from the field, 48% from the 3, 90% from the free throw line. He's getting you 6.2 rebounds, 5.5 assists, which is also career high for him, and getting you 1.2 steals. So they have 2 players on the same team having 50-40-90 seasons. You want to talk about having a bounce back year? It's unconscionable how well they're playing. And they're playing at the level of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. They're both having virtually 50-40-90 seasons on the same team. I think both of these guys are leading candidates for MVP because the Clippers are doing amazingly well as a team this year. If we look at their standings, in the Western Conference, and the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, they have the most wins of any team in the Western Conference, and they have the most wins of any team in the NBA overall. Clippers have 17 wins. They're only 1 game behind the Utah Jazz in the loss column, and they're going to be playing the Jazz pretty soon, which is something I'm going to get to. Now, they just recently had a 6-game road trip, which they went 4-2. I believe they could have gone 5-1 had they not missed their 2 stars. They could have won that Atlanta Hawks game, but they dropped that Atlanta Hawks game. I think they could have lost that Brooklyn Nets game, which they did, and it's conceivable. You're not going to go perfect, but I believe they could have gone 5-1. But nevertheless, they went 4-2 on the 4-2 on the 6-game road trip. But now, to answer my question, can they take over the Western Conference? I'm looking ahead, and I'm looking ahead to the next, let's say, 6-7 games that they're going to be playing. So the Clippers' current schedule moving forward for the next 6 games, they have the Celtics at home, they have the Kings at home. Then they're going to be playing the Timberwolves. Then they have the Chicago Bulls. They have the Cavs. They have the Heat. And they have the Utah Jazz. I think the toughest 2 games out of these 6 games is going to be the Celtics and the Jazz, but also the Heat. The Heat could be there because Jimmy Butler is back. Now, listen, I think the Clippers can win all of these games. I think in the next 6 games, they can probably go 5-1. The win that I really want them to get, the games that I really want them to get, I think the statement games need to be the Celtics, but most importantly, the Utah Jazz, who have been red hot. I think the Utah Jazz right now, they recently lost one, but they're 9-1 in their last 10 games, right? They'd been on a crazy winning streak. I think they'd won close to like 11 or above, at least 11 games in a row. But I'd like to see them get that win against the Utah Jazz and the Boston Celtics. But they have a good chance of going 5-1 in the next 6 games, right? Or they can go 6-0. Who knows, right? Because they're going to go home. They're going to get some rest. They played last night. They're going to have off again on Friday. They're going to have off on Thursday, which is today, and Friday. So they're going to have 2 days off. And then they're going to play on Saturday. So they're going to get some rest. They played a lot of games on that road trip, given the fact that it's a condensed season and they're trying to get as many games get as many games completed as possible. So I think the Clippers have a very good shot of taking over the Western Conference. Now, listen, I'm not saying that the Clippers are going to win the title. That's not what I'm saying. We're just talking about the regular season. We're kind of projecting 1 or 2 weeks out. And I think they have a good shot. The Lakers are still there. I think the Lakers are still the favorites in the West because they're the champs and the title goes through them. You got to knock them off to get to the finals anyway. I think we're looking at the 2 best teams in the Western Conference. Some people may say, listen, you're overlooking the Jazz and Nuggets. I think the Clippers and the Lakers are the 2 best teams. I think they're the class of the West. And I'm expecting, although we don't know, I'm expecting to see a Western Conference finals confrontation between the Lakers and the Clippers. And I think it's going to be box office. And I think all of us are going to have our popcorn ready. And I think these guys are going to be ready for a Western Conference showdown. But for me, I think the Clippers can definitely take over the Western Conference and possibly have the #1 record by the end of this season, which is absolutely conceivable. And if they do, I think the MVP of the regular season should come from the Clippers, whether it's Paul George or Kawhi Leonard, whoever it is. I really don't care. At least it comes from that team, because for now they're playing sensational basketball. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you believe that the Clippers can take over the West, or do you think it's going to be another team? Do you think it's going to be the Lakers or the Jazz or the Denver Nuggets or some other team? Whatever you guys think. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Again, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the next one that we have coming up. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.